Welcome back to Creative Olives.
Yeah, another podcast.
We're here today with Kelly.
And Adriana.
Thank you.
And
it's time to show you a meme. Okay, because you edit a lot, I felt like this is very appropriate for you.
Isn't that hilarious? Yeah, the story of every editor's life.
I know. So this is a video of, and it looks like a plane, or it looks like it's about to land on base and it takes right off. And it says, when you send the client final edit version 8 MP4 and think you finally finished the project. Wait, I need to see my meme.
Yes.
You know, that's happened to me before. That's because you're rehearsing a lot of times beforehand. And you're like, all right, let's roll. And you're like, okay.
Meme that says, director, that was absolutely perfect. Next setup. And then the camera operator who forgot to press the record button is like sweating.
It's a little teddy bear that's sweating.
Yeah.
So today,
Yes,
we have
a special guest. A friend of mine that Adriana is going to meet today.
Yes.
He's an actor. I met him when I was doing the LA Directors Lab. And his name is Caleb.
Moving on to the next section. Ladies and gentlemen, next up, Caleb. Woo! Okay, here we are, nice and cozy.
Yeah.
Welcome, Caleb.
Meet Caleb. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming.
So Kelly, how do you know Caleb? Let's start with that.
I got to direct a scene with him, an action scene. We had so much fun, I think.
It's great. I just saw it. It's amazing.
I had so much fun with it. I hope Caleb had so much fun with it.
It's great. No, I had so much fun, but I didn't realize how much, I made a friend out of it. I think it's so easy to just do work with someone and then just forget about it, but I actually really fuck with you. Can we cuss on this thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Apparently, yeah, because
This is my first ever podcast, so I'm actually very nervous.
don't worry, it was our first time 2 weeks ago.
2-3 weeks ago, yeah.
Done.
Whatever. So we don't know really what the rules are, but we'll learn as we go.
We are here.
And I didn't know him before. We got assigned.
Disclaimer.
We got assigned to teams. And I was so lucky that I got to pair up with Caleb and Janine. And we got to work for 2 days doing this amazing and fun scene. I mean, the scene is an action scene, but still we had so much fun in the process. And here we are now.
Had a blast. Yeah, it was special.
Well, tell us about yourself, Caleb. Where are you from? What do you do? What brings you to LA?
Yeah, all questions I hate answering.
What sign are you? Let's start with the basics.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
That's more like it. Big three. It's a big three.
Big thing.
Capricorn, Scorpio rising,
Mm.
and then Libra moon.
Libra. Oh, that's a cool combo. Like you have
Yeah.
different
A little bit
elements.
of everything.
Solid, yeah. More about me. Ooh, I grew up playing basketball my whole life.
That's
Were
cool.
you sports fans?
I played tennis growing up, and I played a little bit of basketball in school, but I was terrible at it.
Okay.
I was very bad.
I know one thing about basketball, Antetokounmpo, because he's Greek.
Yes. NBA superstar.
Yeah,
There you
a
go.
Greek freak, yeah.
Okay. Is he like a god in Greek?
Yes.
Greece?
Yes.
In Greek?
Yeah, he's a god.
Yeah.
Like, literally,
Yeah.
people,
Demigod.
yeah, people like adore him.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
There's a statue of him somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he put us on the map, like modern. Yeah, basically.
People are
Yeah.
Wow,
like,
that's
oh,
why,
that's
yeah.
where Greece is at.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a country there this whole time.
Oh my goodness.
So you grew up playing
I
basketball?
grew up playing basketball my whole entire life. I thought I was gonna actually go pro
Oh.
overseas, not NBA. It wasn't that good,
Yeah.
but at least
Oh.
enough to where go to college.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of my biggest regrets is not being like a collegiate athlete, because
Interesting.
I would have eaten that shit up.
Yeah.
I did like the strict regime, the schedule.
Spoken like a true Capricorn.
I really think that an actor is an athlete in so
Mhm.
many different
Yeah.
facets. I grew up, painfully shy. horribly,
Oh,
just very
really?
timid, and I was never that child that had those home videos where I was the star. It was not me.
You're just in the background waving.
Yeah, they'd have to call me Caleb here. I'm just lost in my own world.
But you
so
started documentary filmmaking, which is something I just found out.
Yeah.
Which maybe you started behind the camera and then you were like, okay.
I did. So I got injured playing basketball and I was bedridden for almost 6 weeks. Like I had to keep my foot elevated. It was a whole thing. And then with that, someone just gifted me a stack of movies. Actually, pretty solid, just array of the films all across the board and decades. And I just fell in love with.
I like how you say stack of with DVDs, right?
DVDs, no. Why? It's great time, huh?
Are you millennial?
I am, yeah.
Okay. So you went through the VHS and all that?
Yeah,
Okay.
oh man.
I love that we have to ask, like, you look young enough where you could not be a millennial.
I mean, yeah.
You just look your hair.
That was my hair. And then just, I think, because I never left Florida growing up, so I wanted to travel the world and just explore. So while I was doing all that, I was in a play in high school, or musical actually.
Okay.
Curly McLean in Oklahoma.
Okay. I've not seen Oklahoma, but I know what you're talking about.
No idea.
They don't know about that in Greece?
No. We only know Mamma Mia. Also, you dance also.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. When I first met you, I thought you were a dancer.
Just the way that I just occupy space.
Yes, yes. That's like you flow. The way you flow.
You flow. It's all that basketball flowing back and forth.
Yeah, there is like a grace.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that and I fell in love with acting. I had a really cool, really quirky drama teacher.
Yeah.
He'd wear his glasses on his head like this, and then they would just drop though. Like they were its own character. They would just drop like, all right, now it's time to share some wisdom. I guess he saw something in me and just kept encouraging me. I'm here in LA now, an actor, doing it.
Recently, you have a web series that got released.
Oh yeah, tell us about your web series.
It's called And They Were Roommates. Check it out. It's on this YouTube channel called Rom-Com Hotties, but it's also on Instagram. A rom-com about 3 roommates and how like a new roommate comes in, a love triangle kind of series. I won't give it away, but it's all Latino. It's like a Latino-based cast, and just a lot of it is just based around the culture, and it's really beautiful. And it's just fun. It's like a good thing to be watching now. So,
I watched it. I've been 3 episodes.
What's your thoughts?
I really like it. I enjoy it. It's like very well made. The first thing I'm gonna say, very well made.
Yeah.
Like kudos to the cast and the crew and the creators of it. And he plays the good-looking new roommate that everyone is obsessed with.
You're like, listen, I couldn't help it. It's the charm.
I sent the script, and I had such a blast doing it.
Oh, awesome.
But they're writing season 2 as we speak.
Okay, cool.
So
shout out to like independent creators that they do the thing. So the movie for today is that we got assigned from Caleb is
Scarface.
Directed by Brian De Palma.
starring Al Pacino and some other famous people. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Smoke show.
And then John F. Murray Abraham.
That's right.
I never know the order of his name.
It's okay.
Father Abraham. Yeah.
He's great. Gets killed very
bad. You're too good for this film.
He's the helicopter guy.
Yeah.
What a scene.
I know.
So first of all, the question that we like to ask: why this film?
Yes, I think I know why now.
Really?
Well, no. I wanted to.
I have also an idea.
I have an idea too.
Yeah.
Why this film? I think, why not? Well, I'm a huge Al Pacino fan, so, but it's so easy to be the Godfather too, or whatever the case, just be, or even Dog Day After Night and Sidney Lumet. I think that's an incredible film and performance and all that. But Scarface is just, I don't know, it's so fun. It's so bold. It's the '80s. It's Miami. It's about.
But you're from
an hour.
Florida also.
Oh, I'm from Florida. Yeah, easy to know. Florida, and it's just so bold. And then he just swing for the fences.
Yeah.
He's electrifying to watch. So I always, and then the soundtrack too. I will say, soundtrack incredible.
Yeah, the soundtrack
So
is
good.
really good.
It's one of the films that is referenced a lot of times in different movies.
I mean, it's an iconic movie. It's up there with like The Godfather. Where
Yeah.
It's like everybody quotes it. And
Exactly.
But I think it was backlash when it came out.
Yes.
Like,
that first scene in the bathroom, even though like
Oh,
for
yes.
a modern audience, it's kind of like, to me watching it, because when I watched it young, I was like, disgusting. But as a modern viewer now, I was like, oh, this is nothing
Really?
compared to what we have
Right.
now.
Still it got me though.
Oh, it does, of course, because you're just
Exactly.
kind of like, I mean, your
Because-
imagination fills in all the blank
I
spots.
think it's also Al Pacino there.
Yeah, he's great.
How
yeah.
he's like, he's trying to be stoic and he gets you in a position that what would you do if you were there?
But I do think the movie was pretty violent for its time. Like, that was one of the big things
I'm
about it.
gonna say yes, but also I believe there were other violent movies but I think it's because it's an anti-hero, it's a villain that's the protagonist. And back then, it's not like now that we have all these movies.
Yeah.
Like, I think it started early 2000s that
Yeah.
you could see that the hero like
yeah. Well, that's
it must become more popular.
That's
let's
interesting
say.
because I view him as like an anti-hero.
The first
Yeah.
thing I was thinking when I was rewatching that film like the other day, I was like, why do I feel for this character?
Oh, you feel for him.
I mean,
Oh.
No,
I
I feel for everyone around him but him. Like all of his like helpers, I feel for.
that
him.
is
Yeah.
I was trying. It's not that I feel for him. I pity him. Why I follow him? That's the
Right.
better question.
Right.
Why I follow this character? Like
Yeah.
he's an absolute piece of shit. He
Yeah.
is. He has a code though. He doesn't kill women and children. Did I ask you what's your favorite scene?
I really love. I think, yeah. There's so much I'm rooting for him because you go with him on the story. Even Manny too,
Yeah.
just of where they come from nothing
Yes.
and prove themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
His friend is gorgeous.
He
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He is.
He's.
But he didn't do much after Scarface.
I don't know why, but
Yeah.
you know, initially they wanted to put Travolta to play that.
How old was Travolta at the time?
I have no idea, but I'm like,
Also, Travolta playing a Cuban. I mean, Al Pacino was already just like questionable. But,
I-
like
that
John
is what
Travolta
I was-
playing a.
I was gonna talk about this movie. I know Al Pacino was huge even back then, but the only Cuban was the character of Manny, the only Cuban person.
Oh, was Manny really Cuban?
Yes, I heard another podcast saying that Cubans back then were very, very mad at it.
I
And
believe it.
I believe,
Doesn't
yeah.
surprise me.
I believe
Yeah.
it.
And they used copper to do
Yeah.
darker complexion. Which is like,
I mean, that's a tough topic that we have just in general, even this day. It's like, when can somebody play a certain role and when can somebody not play a certain role, right? Like I think we're still teetering with that in filmmaking.
Yeah.
You know, even in smaller things, situations. Like you look at an American can play a French person and that's not a big deal, you know, and like those kinds of things. So it's like where I think filmmaking's still trying to figure that out, you know. Like,
yeah, I was gonna ask you the same thing because, I mean, as a Greek person, I'm so used to seeing, apart from my big fat Greek wedding,
yeah.
they're all Americans play Greeks.
Yeah, I mean it's the same with
Italians and other-
Adam Driver played Gucci, and
Yeah.
he had a questionable accent. But
You
you
see?
know,
Oh
like,
man, right?
but that's a different story
So,
because
I wanted to ask you though, you as a Latino, as a Puerto Rican, how did you feel that Al Pacino played a Cuban with an accent of his own?
I think right off the jump, and I wasn't even alive when this came out, so I think
Yeah.
my reaction probably would have been most definitely different, being alive when it came out and seeing it. I was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, what is this guy doing? If I saw a A-list actor right now that would hop into a role like that and do that, then I would probably.
you
Yeah.
would expect them to maybe cast more.
I would hope so,
authentic to
yeah.
the role.
Just a diverse
Which is-
representation. But it's also very difficult because there isn't a lot of, I guess if it's a massive studio movie, it's so seldom that you're gonna roll the dice on someone unless you're a big star, and there's
Well,
not that
that's
many.
the big thing, right?
There's not that
Like,
many Latino.
Make them big star.
I know, but
You know what? It's
Yeah.
like
Great.
we have
Yeah.
Caleb, like cast him as a Scarface.
yeah.
No,
I
Yeah.
agree.
like or a Cuban, but also you know what I mean. Like
Right.
I know he's Sicilian, but still,
Yeah.
it's another culture. You made up kind of an accent, which is like right now. I don't think that people would let it like pass. I mean, the movie is a nice movie, but watching it like recently, I was like,
Yeah, I mean, but that's coming from a modern audience too, right? Where
Yeah.
we're a lot more sensitive to this conversation.
yeah,
now.
thank God.
Yeah, that's a quite. I wonder what people back in the '80s, like, when they went to the movie theaters, what were they looking to gain?
I mean, I think
Experience
they were
or
like
just-
looking at Al Pacino. I mean, he
Yeah.
was hot at the time. He
I
was
think,
in the movie.
and to the day, I think that's the only reason you can see like Scarface because
Yeah.
of Al Pacino. Otherwise, this movie could be like,
But then someone will argue like you don't see the level of crafted of filmmaking back
Yeah.
from the '70s or '80s, even '90s that you do now as far as the vehicle of storytelling, like
Yeah.
cohesively for films that you do in, I don't know, you go to the movies and watch something that's just, I feel as though, and then I guess it's just a medium. Films were made for a
Yeah.
movie theater experience.
mm.
And obviously things have shifted and what that looks like is
Yeah.
so different nowadays, but also, I mean, Brian De Palma I think he's still with us.
Yeah.
Just his taste was,
Yeah.
you could see it, you know, you could see a movie and be like, oh my goodness,
Yeah,
it's,
he has a style, he has a
Yeah.
distinct voice. He did a great job with that
Yeah.
film. Like speaking about the Cuban culture and all that. The scene with the mom, that's like
heartbreaking, yeah.
yeah, sends him out. That felt so like
That was a great
original
scene,
and
yeah.
like a mom would do. And then I felt for the Cubans that like, actually, this is our name. Why you are,
Yeah.
as a like criminal because this
Yeah.
character is a criminal.
Right.
And they tied it into like in the beginning where they have these archival footage of
Yeah, of Cubans
Yeah.
coming to America.
so
yeah.
that's why because they made it feel so real.
Yeah.
I was like, and they talked about communism and how like Scarface was like, yeah, I would like kill any communist.
Yeah,
Like,
he hates communism
Yeah.
overall. But I mean, that's the thing that's super interesting about Scarface. It's like it's a repetitive story, right? Like anytime there's a new wave of immigrants coming into the U.S., it's always the same narrative. Politically, it's always the same narrative for these people and how they're treated and how they're seen. And I think like, because even just watching it last night, I was like, this is literally what's happening with the Mexican crisis border. Like, border crisis, sorry, I mix my words up, but like it's the same thing, and it's just history repeating itself, and that's like also another aspect of the movie that is kind of the underlying undertone too, that you don't really like. I mean, it's all guns and blazings and cocaine, but at the same time, it's super interesting to see that as an underlying storyline too.
and I think that's why deep inside we follow and feel for him because we know that he has been through jail. He has been through poverty.
Yeah.
He has seen his mom for the last 5 years. He had to move, basically forced to leave his country,
Yeah.
and going to another country. And then what we see is kind of the bad version of the American dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how, being a person that has such a difficult background, almost the only way
Yeah.
to get through the capitalistic system.
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of it. Like this social political message that's behind that film. Obviously, there's very obvious scenes that are just so grand and about
Yeah.
violence, drugs, and money. But on like you mentioned, the underlying tone of it is just it's someone coming from literally nothing,
Yeah.
the bottom, and making it to the top. That's one of my favorite scenes in the film is in the car where he's driving with Manny. And he's talking about that Frank guy, like he just thinks he's whack, and he doesn't understand what he has. He has everything, but he doesn't understand why he has it or what he has. And
Exactly, he can see, he mirrors himself to this guy and be like, if I was in his position, I would be so fulfilled.
Yeah.
And the trajectory of that character, like that he's gonna, is the immigrant, how an immigrant can be so clever and so persistent, and even if this example of Scarface is like a legal path to to pursue, still you can see how like he was persistent.
But it also like makes you think about how, like, you know, why does he pick this path, right? Like, why does he decide to money seems to be something that he's very focalized on because of coming from a communist country and wanting to basically be, I mean, you know, America has this sort of like perspective. You look at it and you're like, okay, this is the place where you make a lot of money, where you can be rich, right? And he gets there, and one of the lines when he's like cooking, he's like, all this shit for this, like, you know, he's clearly unhappy doing that job. And it's like, I came here and this is all I can do. And I think there's a little bit of that, like, you know, he chooses in that moment, you know, this isn't for me. I don't want that. I want quick money. I want the drug life, you know. And it's like, it's an interesting, that moment, it's so small in the movie, but like there's a clear choice there. I mean, he's already been violent in the movie and clearly like got himself out of the camp by killing a political leader. But so like he's already chose violence, but it's that I thought that scene was interesting of like, you know, he has the opportunity to do his first deal. But for me, I was just kind of like, interesting. Okay, this is the moment that he's making a choice that he's gonna do this and screw the other job, you know.
And I think this also scene is so well shot. If you think about everything that De Palma did, he starts with like a crane shot, I think, from the like top bar at Miami versus the place that they're working like by doing, you know, washing dishes. And then when they go to see the, what's his name, the guy, they sit in the car, and the other ones, which like still are not, you know, they're the immigrants in the movie, they're the peasants, how they call them. They're outside of the car trying to convince. He's not like, I'm here for, and I have a dream and I have a purpose. Okay, legal one, but but still.
But if it makes it any better, like he saw a life that he wanted.
Yeah.
And he
went and got it.
And granted, there's a lot of that's where the greed comes in. The greed does come in because he just goes too much that he can handle. But he just sees it from every single level.
Actually, having lack of basic, not only luxury, but even comfort, is a form of violence. When you are like watching someone enjoy their life, like doing whatever, they like getting dressed very nicely, they have this power, you know, playing with other people and all that, and coming from where the Scarface has been, you know, before, jail, like a communist Cuba, you never know what happened to him, but always like felt that he was like choking from, you know, this lack of opportunity. This is a form of violence as well, if you think about it. And that's how I think De Palma did a good thing between, you know, lack of and having surplus of something. That's why it's so much cocaine at the end also.
This
is like mountains of cocaine. But I think you chose that film, now I understand, I don't know if you got the same thing. The style of that film, like the style of Al Pacino, it's so iconic and impeccable. And I know you have like I can see you have a very nice style, like clothing style. And I'm like, there is something there of like, the style got so popular that I think that they inspired Miami Vice and all these kind of shows. And you can tell.
Like, did this inspire GTA?
Right. Who knows, right?
No, I mean, I think one of the reasons why I thought maybe you picked the movie is like just meeting you, right? Like you are, like as Kelly said, you're very stylish, but I like the movie. When you think Scarface, you think of that one line that he says, "Say hello to my little friends," right? And I think a lot of times when you think of Scarface right away, you just think gangster movie, drugs, you know, cocaine. But below that, there's so much more to that story. There's so much more going on. It's about immigration, coming to America, being political refugees, life being unfair to you, right? Like ultimately he's a product of his generation of political failure. I think the whole movie, I keep seeing Jimmy Carter's face, and I think it's Jimmy Carter at the time, the president in the background, and the whole time I'm just like, he keeps popping out like in the background, and it's like, you know, I think, you know, that movie, and I figured maybe that's why you picked it, it's just that like it has its fun elements to it, but it's still telling a really important story, you know. And I think rewatching it this time, because I'm a lot older, I'm sitting there going like, oh, okay, there's more to it than just cocaine and violence. There's so much more to it. I mean, even the whole storyline with his family and like it's his sister's daughter, right? The girl.
No, who is his sister?
It's his
sister.
sister.
Okay,
but I have to talk.
Got confused. I got really confused at one point.
Okay,
bring it back.
That relationship in the beginning
very ancestral.
Yes, but I'm glad at the end she kind of and taps into that, and she reveals it. It's like, you want me, so that's why you don't let me. I mean, the women in this film, they've been like dragged around. They like almost have no voice, and then at the end, thankfully the sister, she's like, you killed my, you know, the love of my life, and you want to control me all the time. But the only thing that it's the funniest thing to me to the day is with Michelle Pfeiffer's character Elvira, how she talks to him, and not only to Frank. She's so like, I'm bored.
Disengaged,
Yeah, his line to her afterwards is hilarious. Like, my wife is a coke addict.
Oh, is this when he's in the restaurant?
Yeah, I mean, that scene is so uncomfortable.
Yeah, that scene is like,
Yeah, the female characters have a lot more like agency and feel more present in the film. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer's character, I feel, kind of dips out at the end. She has that big scene, and then she just leaves. The big fight in the restaurant, I think, is supposed to be her like climactic ending, but like she kind of just disappears. And like you said, I think the scene with the sister is very telling. But I'm wondering if you guys feel the same way that I do. Is I feel like I learned a lot about what was going on in Cuba, what he experienced, and who he was through moments in the film. So like that moment with the sister where she shoots him, like even the first moment where they meet, I could tell immediately something had happened between them prior. Because she's so odd. Like if you look at that performance and that body language between them in that scene, and I'd be so curious to know what Brian said to them, but like to me I was like, he is significantly older than her. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he had tried something with her physically prior to that, you know, because she was, they had this weird sort of, you know what I mean?
Makes you feel so like uncomfortable and what is happening here, And the music also. If you notice that when they're outside in front of his car and they are like hiking and the music is like piano music or something like that, I'm like, why am I watching
and
this?
I think that was like, I'd be so curious to know what that conversation was before going into that scene.
Like a family drama or something.
Yeah, it almost, and I mean, the mom is pretty upset, like, you know, it's like the whole scene, I was just kind of like,
where's the father also?
I think something happened here that but, okay, another question I have for you guys. Do you think that he does stuff sometimes where he doesn't really think about it? Do you think part of this journey of his was out of luck and boldness? Just in general, because like he's pretty bold in the movie, and like he's pretty like he takes steps where he could have gotten killed, and he doesn't get killed.
He's
you know
very insecure. He's very insecure, and he's the person of fake it till you make it. Is that, at least to me, that's what I got.
Interesting. I never really thought of the word insecure.
No, definitely.
But that makes a lot of sense. I mean, the fact that he's so paranoid at the end, you know.
Killing everyone.
And like taking so much drugs. Like I think by the end he goes self-destructive. Like he knew he was gonna die.
Definitely some luck in there too. If it wasn't for his friend in the beginning of the scene, he would have died. But that plays in with his boldness too. Because whatever he wanted, he got it. He went out and and grab it. That's why I really do love that scene in the car because he literally says he wants the world and everything in it.
Yeah.
And that just sets up the whole entire thing. It's like, wow. And those sequences, like, that's him and Manny just daydreaming about a better life. And then once he has it in the nice car, they know he wants even more. And it's just from there, it's just, all right. And then...
When you think of violent movies, you know, I mean, especially today, right? Like, if you look at what we have today, a lot of times they're not poetic like that. And I feel like this one, like, it's funny because rewatching it, I was just kind of like, oh, yeah, I missed this the first time around because I was too young. Like, the first time around, I was like, oh, blood, oh, cocaine, okay, wow, this is a lot, guys, okay. You know, it's a little too much.
And the way Oliver Stone and even Ryan, like, the way they injected humor in.
Yes,
and
100%.
Oh my God, the most funniest scene is so when they're in the bus, he's like, I told him I was in sanitation, and he goes,
I told you
sanitation. You idiot! And then when Frank dies, and he asks Ernie, like, you're gonna kill Ernie, he's like, you want a job?
Oh, that's right.
And he's so happy. The guy's like happy for him.
You got a job. Congrats, you have a job.
What?
I have to tell you, I felt so much for his henchman. Like, the short one, the really short one was my favorite.
Me too.
Like, I was just kind of like, you loved all the guys that worked for him because
and his best friend Manny is in my. Although he was weird about ladies, but the way he died.
Oh, the tongue scene. The tongue scene where he's like.
That's only a funny.
He showed up like,
Oh my gosh, like, what?
I didn't even know where he was going with that. I was like, what?
Exactly right, but I love it. Manny's a sweetheart.
The chemistry between the actors too were just really strong too.
They had like 2 months of rehearsal.
Yeah.
It's unheard of.
Yeah.
That's theater right there. That's a theater rehearsal.
But you can feel it. Like,
exactly.
you can really
feel
it. Especially between Al Pacino and Manny. Like.
Wow, that's my movie.
It's a good pick. I really enjoyed it. It was nice rewatching it and seeing it.
It's a good summer flick too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those, oh, you wouldn't think of it as, this is...
Everyone's in bikinis.
Oh,
The suits are amazing.
Yeah, the costumes.
I mean, the costumes were so good.
I
love Michelle Pfeiffer's outfits too.
Yeah.
The scene in the hot tub, she's got this little outfit on, and I'm like, that's very cool. I would like that too.
Would you want a room like that with a hot tub?
It's carpeted.
If you could, would you?
With carpet.
The carpet, no.
No?
No. That's what I noticed. But this, like, yes, of course, there was a pool. That was not a bathtub. But you could, like...
Okay, but so the whole time I thought it was a bathroom. And then they went on a wide shot, and there's a bed in there, and I was like, oh, that's a bathroom. The other thing I'll say, though, about this movie that I really enjoyed was that with power comes paranoia. And that's so also a theme within politics, which is also an underlining thing, especially with communism too. And I thought that was a very
backdrop
I thought that was really strong and interesting. I was like, he's fleeing what these other men have created in his country, but he's just recreating the same thing in a way.
Wow, that is a wild conundrum. That's so true.
He's so paranoid at the end. He's watching TV and then watching security TV, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. The cable guy, he's been there for 3 days.
That also was a funny scene.
It was a great scene.
And he's like, why are you watching it? Because he's there!
Yeah. Well, okay, so this was my big question. Because I asked this question to the viewers who were watching it with me last night. But, like, if you were to remake it today. Okay, one, who would you cast?
Oh, wow.
Who would be your ideal cast? Especially now that we have such an array of different actors.
Yeah.
And like also, would you make it, to me, I'm surprised there wasn't more sex in it. And meeting you right away, I think Manny would be a great role for you.
Yes.
Put me in.
I think it would be a fun role to play.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we casted Manny as Caleb.
Yes, or I casted you, because I know you wouldn't cast yourself probably.
No.
Oh, who would you like to direct? Also.
Ooh, yes, this is a good one. I love this question. You know, a huge fan of it. He's a dream of, like, that as an actor I want to work with, is John Bernthal. He's most probably known for Punisher. John, if you're watching this, we're going to work together one day.
I'm sure we're all gonna get in our cars tonight and be like, what the fuck, I should have said that!
We have a whole list. I'll send you it.
Yeah.
No, I really can't think of.
We asked you. That's the most important thing.
No, what's
Listen,
funny, because
I'm
when
gonna
you
be in
came
there.
in and you said that you liked his character, I was like, yeah, I could see you playing that guy.
Yeah, he killed it.
So that was Scarface
Yeah.
from our point of view.
Alright, here we go. What's the most bizarre plot twist you can think of for romantic comedy? I mean, has there been one where they're blood related?
Oh, you win there!
Dude, that's bizarre.
That's a Greek tragedy right there.
House of Dragons. House of Dragons
Yeah,
or whatever.
Oh, is
but
it
they
really?
know.
I don't know, but I
they
hear-
know that, man.
Oh,
Oh,
they
no,
do
no.
know.
Khaleesi just not didn't know.
Were they
Okay.
intimate?
Yeah.
Where?
What's your bizarre twist?
Romantic comedy, bizarre twist, something like. Okay, go first.
Okay, I think bizarre plot twist. Let's say, well, okay, yeah, because you didn't like this earlier. Okay, wait. What if you like fall in love? Man of your dreams is beautiful, or woman of your dreams, or whatever it is you're into. They unveil themselves to you, and they're a lizard person.
Ooh,
They're an alien.
they're around here too. I know that.
Yeah. NASA says that they are. So.
Stop that
Kelly doesn't
conversation
like
right
that.
here.
I'm not a fan.
I don't like space. I don't like aliens.
Really?
I'm so.
What
That's
if I-
fearful.
What if I tell you I have a space shuttle?
I don't want to know.
No.
I'm so scared. I'm scared about space. I don't understand why people want to go to space. I do. Yeah.
There's probably someone in a distant world that thinks they're scared of us.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm so
But what
scared.
would you do if you fell in love with somebody and then they ripped their skin off and they were like this blue scaly lizard person
Blue or blue
like-
one.
and they were an
Like
alien?
Avatar.
Yeah, sure.
If-
And they were from
Avatar
another.
is cute. It's very anthropomorphic.
You're
Yeah.
attracted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what if? And they were like, I'm from another. Now you know what she likes. And if you were from, hey, if anyone's interested in killing up, you know what she likes. But her number is 079. No. But what
Like
would you
blue
do?
people.
Okay, so what if they were a blue
That's
person?
right.
What would you do?
Blue person is different than a lizard.
Okay, let's say there's let's combo them.
A lizard.
Blue person. Yeah, what would you do? Would you stay in love? Would you go?
If
to
I
the club?
like what it is underneath, okay.
Mm.
Well, wait a second. What do we mean by underneath? Like, are we talking
That's
clothing
for the
layer,
viewer's
or like,
imagination.
or are you
What's
talking
that?
like in their mind?
No, I mean, like if it was, I think the closer to anthropomorphic as we know it,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Are we talking about body parts that are underneath, or are you talking
Yeah,
about?
how did you?
I'm so
How did you even
confused.
I know.
I thought she was saying that, like, you know, it depends what's underneath.
No, I didn't mean
What
that.
do we mean? Underneath clothing or like?
Kelly here's a roller in her backpack.
No, because
Kelly's just, she's out there in LA dating people, just being like, I need to measure this,
you
please.
know,
What are you packing on there?
you know how many men turn out to be lizards.
Oh my god, Kelly.
Let me tell you.
You know what you're talking.
I
What's your plot twist?
don't know why that came up to mind, but like that in the middle of the romantic comedy,
Mhm.
there is a twist and it mixes up with Sharknado.
Oh.
So Sharknado happens while you're like intimate with this person?
Which person? We're talking about a romantic comedy. I'm not intimate with anyone. No, lizard.
No Avatar people.
No, this is my.
New
this
film.
This is a romantic comedy. It's probably like a guy or a girl or whatever. Two girls.
Blue people.
No, regular people. And then the bizarre turnout is that somehow the Sharknado narrative kicks in them.
Okay.
It takes more of the narrative space rather than the romantic comedy. Anyway, moving on.
Sharknado.
Moving on.
Okay, moving on.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
If you had to pitch a movie starring an inanimate object, what would it be and what's the plot? This is tough. I feel I feel as if the movie Flubber did such a great job, and I can't. Do you all have something like it's an inanimate? Why am I having a hard time
A
saying that word?
basketball. Imagine it'd be like ow, ow, ow.
Yeah. Oh,
The
that's
escape of the basketball.
Okay. You?
I know it's a chair.
A chair.
Yeah, it can be the sequel to the basketball. Stop shitting on me. That's your third.
Well, maybe like a flute. So mine's gonna be definitely a psychological thriller, but the score is gonna be just nothing but flutes and different
Oh.
variations.
I
It's
like
gonna be very
that.
Creepy.
Oh, very.
I like the
Art
idea
house.
of like an instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incorporate that with just the tonality.
A24 would definitely
They
buy that.
think so, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they would. Oh, you got a pink one.
Pink one, finally. What's a movie ending that you would completely change, and how would you end it instead?
Darn, that's a good one.
I have the answer.
You already
You
had the
do?
answer. You thought about these. You wrote them,
Titanic.
huh? Oh, Titanic.
Yeah.
How does it end?
Because he fell on that door thing. What was that?
That can't be the ending scene of the
Yeah.
film, though. What? There has to be another one. I don't know, what's the?
No, he's on it,
Okay.
not dying.
Yeah.
He pushes her.
No.
Oh, okay.
They're kind of like living happily ever after, but they're losing the necklace, and that's what they came back for.
Okay.
What would the ending of Shrek look like? So maybe Shrek tries to save her, at the wedding, but he's overpowered and he gets murdered. And so Fiona she marries Lord Farquaad, but in the meantime she's been planning her revenge plot this whole entire time.
Yeah, she's gonna kill him.
She's gonna kill him, but human.
Wow, you
yeah,
have like
she's
a
human.
dark
Oh, man.
twist of Shrek. Okay. 101 Dalmatians.
Which one?
Love that movie.
The
That's my
first one.
favorite.
The animated one.
Animated one.
Okay.
Yeah. And it ends with Cruella getting her face eaten off by all the dogs.
How would you animate that in 2D?
That's your
You don't
problem.
show it. You don't show it.
That is your own.
You
But
see the dogs eating.
Oh, that's a good. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Leave it up
Yeah.
to the imagination.
Like, fuck her. She's trying to kill the dog. The dogs come back at her. There's 101
Oh,
of those
yeah.
dogs. Like, imagine if 101 dogs pissed you off. English. Imagine if you pissed off 101 dogs.
Yeah.
Like, you're not winning
No,
that fight.
they're ripping your limbs
Yeah.
apart for sure.
Yeah.
What's the most unusual place you've ever watched a movie? You know, I watched, it was not even unusual. It was just, it's nothing interesting. It was just a movie in another country, but it was dubbed in their language. It was an X-Men.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
wait.
it was in Portuguese.
Yeah, but that's unusual in a way, because you're just like
I
not
guess
used
to
to
me
that
it is,
experience.
yeah.
But you definitely.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool experience.
Yeah, I would label that as unusual, because it's new to you.
Yeah.
I know you love them, so do another
This is
one.
the last one. All right, here we go.
Last one.
Let's make it count. Which director do you think could make an epic movie about your life, and what genre would it be? This has layers. Good
Or
question.
maybe,
I don't know.
like for example, for me, I would like it to be comedy.
Yeah, same for me.
Comedy, really?
Or like at least have comedic aspect to it, no drama, no. Or sarcastic, you know what I mean? Like.
What tone though? Is it to just can't just be flat? Like is it what
Not-
is there like a
not-
hyphen
Uh,
as far as the kind of?
comedy action? No. I mean,
Kelly running the set.
yeah. And director, what would I would choose? I would choose Emerald Fennell, maybe.
Okay.
She's quirky.
What is he? What she?
She did,
She
Promising Young Woman, Saltburn.
Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't do comedy though. That's
Yeah,
true.
it's just a weird movie, so you'd have to have a little bit of weirdness in there.
That's true. No, maybe not.
You know, I'm gonna go with Cameron Crowe. One
Okay.
of my favorite films of all time is Vanilla Sky,
Okay.
and that's a film that has it's genre bending.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be in that realm where there would be romance, there would be sci-fi, there would be thriller,
Well,
there
What
would
are
be.
that.
you doing in real life?
I feel like growing up it was just always in my head.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
I was
so
like, what
quiet.
life has he lived?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's an epic. It's whatever you want. It's a DVD.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's.
And what's
It's
the
a-
name of it?
Oh, I know for me. I just thought about it. I was like,
You've thought about this before?
No, I literally, because something was said to me at work today, and I'm like, oh, I know what the title of my movie would be.
What would it be?
What is she doing? But it has to be asked like that. It should be like, what the hell is she doing?
Well, my title, maybe Runaway.
Oh, I like
Directed by
that.
Cameron.
Runaway. What's the title of yours?
Something with relax, chill.
Something relax and chill.
Chill.
Alright.
Or like telling to me, is he gonna relax?
Will you breathe?
When will she relax
But-
and chill?
Oh, something like that.
I want Kristen Wiig to direct my.
Kristen
Oh my
Wiig.
God!
Yeah.
Has
Yes.
she directed
I
yet?
don't.
No, but I
don't
think
so.
do.
She didn't do Skeleton Twins, right?
I don't remember.
This has been so much fun. Yeah, please
Yeah.
come back and we'll
It's a
talk.
pleasure.
And
Talk more.
again,
Where can people find you?
yeah.
Where can they link up with you? Where can they find you?
Ooh.
What's the best way to contact you if they would like to work with you to cast you in the remake of Scarface?
Exactly. Yeah, please. I am on Instagram.
Cool.
Caleb X Cruz.
Nice.
The X is
The X is very important. It
Very
separates the first name and the last name. But
So
if you're concerned
these-
about my well-being, or if you're a fan, yeah, hit me up. DM me on there.
Yeah.
So we can chat more.
And that's it.
That's it.